CEO dares janitor's daughter to fix impossible engine, what she reveals shocks everyone. Rain lashed against the massive glass windows of Holden Tech Industries, a global powerhouse of innovation known for its brilliance and arrogance in equal measure. Inside, high above the city, the boardroom buzzed with tension. A prototype engine, hailed as humanity's next leap in clean energy, sat silent in the corner, stubbornly broken. Every expert flown in, every top engineer on payroll, had failed. It was a $40 million embarrassment. CEO Marcus Holden, towering in both height and ego, paced with growing fury. He was a man of action, not patience. "We need a miracle," he muttered. "Or someone smart enough to make one." At that exact moment, the janitor entered quietly to clean the floor, and with her came her daughter, Anika, just 17, eyes wide with wonder and hands stained with graphite. She had spent the afternoon in the janitor's break room, sketching designs in a battered notebook while waiting for her mother to finish her shift. Holden's sharp gaze landed on the girl. "You there," he barked, half amused, half desperate. "You think you can fix what the best minds in the world can't?" The room stilled. Board members exchanged awkward glances. The janitor looked horrified, whispering, "Anika, don't, just stay quiet." But Anika didn't flinch. She stepped forward, heart pounding but gaze steady. "I can try," she said simply. A few engineers chuckled. One whispered, "She'll probably break it worse." But Holden, perhaps enjoying the absurdity, motioned toward the machine. "Be my guest." Anika approached the engine slowly, like meeting an old friend. She ran her fingers gently along its frame, then opened her backpack and pulled out her notebook, filled with sketches, formulas, and annotations far beyond her years. "You installed a dual resonance stabilizer, but the harmonic dampener's too rigid. The system's choking itself," she murmured more to the engine than the room. The laughter stopped. She took a wrench from a nearby toolbox and, in delicate increments, adjusted the internal structure. Her hands moved with purpose, not guessing but knowing. 30 minutes later, she stepped back. "Try it now." An engineer flipped the switch. The engine whirred, then hummed. A perfect, stable output. It was alive. Gasps rippled through the room. The chief mechanical officer stammered, "That's not possible. We've spent months." Holden stared, speechless for the first time in his career. "Where did you learn that?" Anika smiled softly. "My dad. Before he died, he used to work on engines like this. He taught me everything." Silence fell again, but this time it was heavy with humility. The next day, news of the incident spread like wildfire across the company. Videos leaked online. Social media lit up with headlines like, "Janitor's daughter schools top engineers." The company stock soared, but it was the humanity in the story that truly moved the world. What few knew was the truth behind Anika's brilliance. Her father, once a brilliant inventor, had worked for Holden Tech years ago. He created designs that were shelved, ignored, and eventually forgotten when he fell ill. He died penniless, working as a mechanic while his ideas gathered dust in the company vault. Anika had studied his notebooks in secret, promising herself she'd finish what he started. But she never wanted revenge. She only wanted to build something that helped people, like he dreamed. Marcus Holden called Anika and her mother into his office later that week. It was the first time the CEO of Holden Tech sat at eye level with a janitor and her teenage daughter. "I owe you both an apology," he said, voice stripped of its usual bravado. "I made assumptions. I almost let arrogance bury genius, twice. First your father. Now you." He paused, then added, "I want to offer you a full scholarship. Anywhere. MIT, Caltech, Stanford. You pick. And when you're ready, if you'll have us, a position at Holden Tech. But not as an intern. As a lead engineer." Tears welled in the janitor's eyes. Anika looked down, overwhelmed, then nodded. I'd like that. But on one condition. Halden blinked. Anything. Credit my dad. Call the engine what he always called it, the Phoenix. Halden stood and extended his hand. Deal. That year, Halden Tech unveiled the Phoenix engine. It became the cornerstone of a new era in sustainable technology. But it wasn't just the tech that inspired the world, it was the story behind it. Schools around the country began programs to mentor young minds from all backgrounds. Companies re-evaluated their hiring practices. And in the heart of Boston, a mural of Anika and her father was painted on the side of an engineering academy, with bold letters that read, "Genius has no title. Greatness has no uniform." Years later, as Anika stood on a stage at the UN's Global Energy Summit, now a celebrated engineer and humanitarian, she ended her speech with a quiet smile. "My father used to say the world doesn't need more geniuses in suits, it needs more hearts with tools." He wasn't wrong. The room erupted in applause. Not for the invention. Not even for the brilliance. But for the reminder that somewhere, right now, a kid like Anika might be holding the answer to our biggest problems, and all they need is someone willing to believe in them. And maybe, just maybe, the world's next miracle is sweeping a hallway, dreaming with calloused hands, waiting for a chance to shine.